Pelt's right. Gets rid of it the other way, and that's Travis Henry out of the backfield. He's got all kinds of running room, and the block. Travis Henry escaped the tackle, fights his way down to the 6-yard line.
There's a story in each box score. This channel's about those stories. This is Daily Random NFL. Daily Random NFL.
John Casey set to kick it off. Back to take it for the Bills, Avion Black from his end zone. Escapes the tackle and finally brought down at about the 19-yard line. The pitch on the first play for the rookie, Travis Henry, and Henry with a pickup of about 4 yards on the play. Gave Henry 5 on that last play, and there's movement early.
That's on the quarterback.
Yeah, Alex Van Pelt stepped backwards.
Right or snap, false start. Number 10, offense.
And then he
penalty.
goes up there and moves the end.
Once again, Travis Henry, and Henry is stopped in the backfield this time. Wrapped up immediately.
They make big plays.
On third down, they've got to get it to the 30 to keep the drive going. Larry Centers out of the backfield. He's not going to be close. Wrapped up after a pickup of only about 4 yards on the play. Dangerous return man in Steve Smith. That one's going to be out of bounds. You know what? Coach Greg Williams told us this week, if they kick the ball to Steve Smith, his punters and kickers will be in trouble. So no trouble there whatsoever. Goes in motion, so it's an empty backfield. Winky to the air right away. And that pass dropped by Hoover, incomplete. Well, after the drop, a 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. The pitch to Richard Huntley, and Huntley's got some running room out near the first down marker before Keith Newman makes the tackle. Richard Huntley again. 3 more on the pickup. The rookie Brandon Spoon, who played his college ball in North Carolina. Quick pass. Muhsin Muhammad, his first catch. Pushes a couple of guys off before making his way down to the 24-yard line.
That each of these teams have had to deal with.
First down after the 19-yard pickup. Muhsin Muhammad goes right through his hands, incomplete. Bills coming on the blitz. Winky to Muhammad. Short pickup of about 4 yards. Was he down?
Bills think they have the football.
Well, I heard a whistle earlier, but they signaled it right at the 20-yard line. He was down. They got to get it to the 14 to keep the drive alive. And Muhammad drops another one. And it's through.
Sheeran, he's a guy who's almost out of football 2 years ago. Broke his kneecap. It's not good for a kicker.
No, he re-injured it coming back in training camp. That's Avion Black, and Black goes down hard. Larry Centers doesn't get much, loses a yard. In fact, Jay Williams, along with Lester Towns, after the 1-yard loss. The pitch to the rookie, Travis Henry. Henry fights his way out to the 34-yard line. 2 tight ends in for Buffalo. Van Pelt off the play action to Larry Centers. Centers gets the first down. 7-yard gain on first down. Van Pelt completes it. Eric Moles, his first catch of the day. Travis Henry gets the first down. He ran hard right into the face of Dan Morgan. First down from the 47. The end around, Eric Moles. But he can't find any running room. Carolina sniffed that out perfectly. Got to drop him for a loss of a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Van Pelt's right. Gets rid of it the other way, and that's Travis Henry out of the backfield. He's got all kinds of running room, and the block. Travis Henry escaped the tackle, fights his way down to the 6-yard line. First and goal from the 6. Sammy Morris. Pickup of 2. There's Morris again. Sammy Morris goes to the air a little bit early. Van Pelt to the air. Pass thrown too hard, incomplete, intended for Peerless Price. 20 yards away. And it's good.
Nice drive. Now the key is, can Steve Smith bring it back? He's a dangerous return man, and that's why they kick it short.
He still takes it. He's got nowhere to go, and they wrap him up immediately.
In the past, they expect to win them all.
Richard Huntley Huntley with a short pickup. You got to keep it that way sometimes, JB. Chris Winkie. And that one goes into the dirt. He was under pressure. All right, Bob. Carolina needs the 37 for the first down. Over the middle of the field, incomplete. He's lucky it wasn't intercepted. Todd Sauerbrunn, the leading punter in the National Football League, to boot this one. He's got 3 kicks over 70 yards, 14 over 60 this year.
There goes another one.
Yeah, that one 70 yards again. That's 4 times this year. He only nets 50, though.
Yeah, bummer. More than a triple sow cow.
I don't know any other figure skating term, so I had to pull that one out.
The octagonal sow cow.
Larry Centers going to be dropped for a loss of 2. Lester Towns with the stop.
Yeah. Van Pelt got him that time.
Exactly. Talk about jumping the snap count.
Encroachment, 77. Defense, 5-yard penalty. Second down.
On that.
That was a free 5 yards, so it's 2nd and 7. Henry with the carry. Travis Henry can't quite get around the corner before 3rd and 1 on the keeper. Looks like Van Pelt got the first down. Needed to cross the 30, and he did. There's Travis Henry again. Can't cut it back through. Brought down at the line of scrimmage by Dan Morgan. Van Pelt over the middle, ball bobbled and incomplete. Jay Remersma, the intended receiver, but there was Dan Morgan one more time. There goes the blitz. Van Pelt going up top. That one overthrown for Reggie Germany, incomplete. Nice coverage by Jimmy Hitchcock.
So shaken loose from Hitchcock.
There, Brian Moorman kicks another one out of bounds.
And the fans are booing, but it's not a bad kick. And
exactly.
Moorman's coming over here, and he's going to have to deal with Greg Williams. And Greg said, hey, if he doesn't kick it out of bounds, I'm going to put my foot out of bounds on him.
We'll start from the 46. Richard Huntley. Huntley wrapped up after a 2-yard pickup. On 2nd and 8, play action. Pass caught. Wesley Walls, his first grab of the day. Winkie. Pass thrown high but caught. Muhsin Muhammad drags it in.
That happens at every stadium for the inductees, and I'm thrilled to be back here in this stadium once again to receive it.
Carolina, ball just shy of the 25. Richard Huntley with the carry. Pick up of about 7 yards. Top of it, don't you? 2nd and 2. Huntley trying to fight for the first down. And
anyway,
Carolina with the short gain.
Come on up.
3rd and 1. They needed to get to the 15-yard line.
I know his name now.
Yes, you do. And the other
Donald Hayes with the catch. Hayes going to be short of the goal line, brought down right at the 1. Patrick Jeffers in motion. Boy, Nick Goings lowered his head. No signal yet from the officials. He didn't get in. Winkie trying to dive over. Lost the football. But he got the touchdown first. John Casey for the extra point. And the Panthers take the ball 80 yards. Credit for an 80-yard drive. That was only a 54-yard drive. Forgot the short kick. Remember, that was out of bounds. Avion Black taking a short kickoff from John Casey. It's going to be stopped at the 39 by number. Travis Henry. Short 3-yard pickup.
and just set themselves up, but they didn't think it was going to be this bad.
Travis Henry with a little stiff arm. Nice run by Henry.
Henry, you're in trouble.
Third down. Buffalo needs the 49. And it's intercepted. Reggie Howard with the pick. Right through the hands of Larry Centers into the paws of Reggie Howard. Whistles blow before the play got started. Carolina called for a false start. So it's 1st and 15 back at the 41. Richard Huntley gets about 2 yards on the play. Not a penalty, then the 2-yard gain. So it's second. Chris Winkie towards the end zone for Steve Smith. Excellent coverage on the play.
Pass interference.
Going deep.
21. Defense. Automatic first down.
Second and goal from the 2. Make it 1st and goal. Richard Huntley with the touchdown, so it's irrelevant what down it is.
Easier than that one.
John Casey with the easy extra point. 8:05 to go in the period. Todd Sauerbrunn with the kickoff. That's taken by Sean Bryson at the 5. They start at the 25. The pitch to Travis Henry. Cuts it back for a gain of 9. Al Lucas with his tackle.
A little bit of a fall.
Pitch to Henry. Travis Henry gets enough for the first down. Dan Morgan on the stop. Best they've got.
Does a good job on pass block.
Van Pelt passing deep, intended for Reggie Germany. Germany backs it around and makes the grab.
Up and let a guy make a play. His receivers love him for that. And sometimes it doesn't work out. For example, the 4th play.
That's Travis Henry getting outside. Can't stay in bounds. Travis Henry again. Penalty markers on the play. Dan Morgan lost a helmet as well.
Holding 63. Offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
1st and 20. Play action. Henry out of the backfield. Slips a tackle. Has a block. And Travis Henry fights his way down inside the 10-yard line. Backfield. Larry Sinners and Van Pelt ran into each other. Don't think the play was designed that way. They lose a yard. Van Pelt going towards the end zone. Wide open. Larry Sinners drops it. Shane Graham for a 27-yard attempt. He's already had a 20-yard to go through, and this one does as well.
Well, us to Hayes. As soon as he had that first conversation with Greg Williams, he was sold. He knew he wanted to be here. He believed in him.
Steve Smith. Always dangerous. Finally wrapped up in Buffalo Bills territory at the 41-yard line. Second straight possession they've begun in Buffalo territory. Richard Huntley going to be dropped for a loss on the play. 1-yard loss, 2nd and 11. Winky, pump fake. Up top intended for Wesley Walls. Walls was covered by Brandon Spoon. Winky, another pump fake. Wide open, Musin Muhammad, and he makes a move. Down inside the 15, a Carolina first down.
Holding 34. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
The 39-yard penalty. Winky. Downfield and pass intended for Patrick Jeffers. Here come the flags.
Problem was he
Pass
did not look back.
39. Defense. Automatic first down.
Has the ball at the 18 after the penalty of about 34 yards on the play. Richard Huntley with a pickup of 2. Second and 7 from the 15. Richard Huntley out of the backfield. A couple of dance moves inside the 10, down near the 5. Sideline. Richard Huntley. Huntley going to pick up 3 yards on the play. And I mentioned Walls on the sideline because in years area. 2nd and goal from the 2. And there's Chris Mangum, the other tight end, making the grab for the score.
And the that, I mean, you're a safety on a tight end. You got to make a play.
We'll go into the locker room for the 10th time this season, either tied or with the lead at halftime, as they have been in every single ball game just about. That's Sean Bryson taking the short kick. Out to the 29-yard line. Winners in their rookie year.
Not bad.
They had another Heisman winning quarterback last night. As Alex Van Pelt squeezed that one in there to Eric Moles, and Moles into Carolina territory to the 45. Been able to put drive together, but settled for 2 field goals so far. That's Eric Moles again, cutting cross field, gets a block and the first down.
And they're able to go over the middle.
Van Pelt up top, cross field is Price down to the 6-yard line. Jimmy Hitchcock stops him there to his left. Van Pelt towards the back of the end zone. Peerless Price. Touchdown, Buffalo Bills. Wait. And the Bills, they were able to drive 70 yards and put it in the end zone. You know they're not going to give Steve Smith a chance on this one, are they? Chris Hetherington, and that's going to be the final play of the first half. It's 41 yards of offense in the first half, but only 13 points to show for it. Another short kick, Chris Hetherington taking it out to the 33-yard line as Buffalo refuses to let Steve Smith.
Field goals out of it, but Alex is doing a good job, and he gave us life at the end of the half. Thank you.
Touchdown drive for Carolina.
Second and long. Winky going up top. Muhsin Muhammad with the grab. In the Buffalo territory, loses the football. And the Bills have recovered. Jay Foreman falls on it. Now there's a discussion as to whether or not he was down. Nonetheless, Buffalo gets it on the turnover. Starting just shy of the 20. Travis Henry, and he loses it, but it goes out of bounds. Bills retain possession. 1 yard on the play. The pitch to Henry. Travis Henry runs hard, doesn't he? Picks up 3 more, but lowers the shoulder, not afraid to take a hit. Gets it off.
No, he didn't.
Not in time. They still need the 29. Here comes the blitz. Van Pelt completes it. Good enough for the first down. Out to Peerless Price. And Price knocked out of bounds by Minter. You count the last 2 passes of the first half, all to Price. Travis Henry with a run on first down. Mike Minter forces him out of bounds.
Taunting, number 20 on the offense. 15-yard penalty after the play was over. It's continuous action foul. The down will count. It'll be second down.
Now second and 16 on the play action. There's Peerless Price again. Doug Evans with the tackle. Van Pelt steps up but can't get away. Chris Slade. Foreman to punt. Well, this one's going to stay in bounds. Steve Smith with a chance at the return. He's caught from behind. Chris Watson taking over. First and 10 at the 32-yard line. Richard Huntley. Short 3-yard pickup. Winky to the air. Muhsin Muhammad. Big catch.
Off the field.
First down from the 42. Richard Huntley picks up a couple of yards on the play. 7. Winky. Quick pass, and Donald Hayes loses the football.
Give it to him.
It's 3rd and 7. Nick Goings. Goings nowhere. Sauerbrunn on for the punt. Peerless Price, the deep man, calls for the fair catch and makes it. The Bills begin at the 11. Travis Henry. Lester Towns met him right at the 9 for a loss of 2. Here comes the blitz. Van Pelt got rid of it quickly but couldn't connect with Sammy Morris.
Panthers came with a blitz again, and quarterback Van Pelt had to throw hot.
To the 21.
With a blitz.
Oh, Van Pelt going up top for Eric Moles. Overthrows him. Incomplete.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 27, a blow to the back of the head, 15-yard penalty, first down.
There's a delayed blitzer, not touched, not picked up at all, and all he did was lay his hands.
Quick pass, almost picked off, intended for Peerless Price. Dead. Travis Henry. Henry going to lose a yard on the play, and suddenly Buffalo having all kinds of trouble moving the football. There's Price in motion. Larry Centers from the backfield. Cuts back the other way, but going to be 5 yards short of the first down. There's Steve Smith back to take the punt from Brian Moorman. Isaac Bird instead makes the fair catch right on the 30-yard line. Winky. Across the middle of the field, that's the tight end, Chris Mangum. Especially with the big lead and the clock on their side. Donald Hayes batted in the air and intercepted. Brandon Spoon, he's got blockers in front. Brandon Spoon into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo Bills. Belt towards the end zone, bounces off of Deion Grant's helmet.
But give the assist to Nate Clements, the rookie out of Ohio State, continues to make big plays for the Buffalo Bills. And he was spooked.
Shane Graham. Steve Smith from the 5-yard line. And Smith bounces it outside. Forced out of bounds by the kicker, Graham, who had to make the tackle to save the touchdown.
The game, and he took a good shot on this one.
What they tell you linebackers about the quarterback on an interception?
Go get him.
Line. Richard Huntley. The football league averaging only 75 yards a game. Chris Mangum going to be half a yard short, looks like, of the first down. He's right near the marker, depends on the spot. Ricky hangs on. Intended for Mangum. There's another flag.
Illegal contact, 22, defense. Before the ball is in the air, 5-yard penalty, first down.
The pitch to Richard Huntley. Let's go out to Los Angeles. It's 2nd and 6. Winky. Pass falls incomplete, intended for Muhsin Muhammad. 39. That's what they need to get for the first down. Isaac Bird makes the catch. No, he doesn't. Incomplete.
Inside the 20.
Price lets it go over his head. Carolina hustling down. They got it inside the 5. Well, that's where it did make the difference.
Great play by Steve Smith. Not only can he return, but he can cover punts as well. And he just grabbed the ball and flung it back before he got in the end zone. That's the key. He can't step in the end zone. He flung it back into the field of play.
Van Pelt. Philip Crosby out of the backfield. Nice 8-yard pickup for Crosby. 2nd and 1. Travis Henry. First down. Brought down by Deion Grant at the 43. Travis Henry. Boy, and he's met immediately by Dan Morgan. Van Pelt. Over the middle, caught by Eric Moles. Not much on the play. Deion Grant with the tackle. 7-yard line of Carolina for the first. Under pressure, brought down for the sack. Dan Morgan. This game including that sack. Low snap to Brian Mormon. He gets it off. Goes out of bounds.
Excuse me, Carolina. That's a good punt.
Richard Huntley. They decide to keep it on the ground. Huntley's finally brought down by Keith Newman on what looks like it'll be the final play of the 3rd quarter to start the 4th quarter. The pitch to Richard Huntley. Huntley with a short pickup. They need the 30. Winky completes it to Muhsin Muhammad. Good enough for the first down. First down, Carolina. Huntley pushing the pile. Winky going deep. Donald Hayes can't make the catch. Winds up playing defensive back. 4th quarter. Got to get the 43. Richard Huntley not going to get there. Wrapped up immediately by Jay Foreman. Todd Sauer brought on for the punt. He booms this one. Peerless Price may have outkicked his coverage. Price spinning and dancing like a top out to the 48, maybe the 49-yard line.
Minutes or less to go, and yet they've lost those games.
Travis Henry on the first down. Gets a first down and a flag.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
They get it off. That's the pitch to Travis Henry. Out across the midfield stripe.
The other big play to Ricky Williams when he scored the winning touchdown.
Van Pelt under pressure. Dropped by Henry on the little screen play. Incomplete. Here comes the blitz again. Gets rid of it. Jay Remersma gets the first down. Up to the 30-yard line, a gain of 20. Play action. Remersma lowers his shoulder, but forced out of bounds by Jimmy Hitchcock.
Kicks. C-H-I-X.
Little Chickadee. Travis Henry trying to bounce it outside. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Remersma with the catch. He juggled it, but caught it. Down to the 3-yard line. Lester Towns with the stop, but Give Remersma and the Bills 18. Travis Henry tries to follow a block.
It sure looked like he was in the end zone to me.
It sure did, but no signal from the officials. They say he was down at the 1. Steinberger comes in, calls himself eligible. Travis Henry hit right at the 1-yard line, fighting with the second effort, and still doesn't make it in. Now they call a touchdown.
You talk about your delayed knockout.
Well, talk about convincing him. Reuben Brown, I believe is who it was, that went to one of the officials and said, we scored. And you go, okay. Quick pass on the fade. Eric Moles can't get it incomplete, so the lead stays at 1.
That last one, now it's 27-24. Instead, they go for 2 on both of them, get neither, and a field goal beats them.
Steve Smith from the 11-yard line. Back out to the 35. First down from the 35. Winky. Mangum can't make the one-handed grab. The first half, they now trail 25-24. Richard Huntley with the run. And since that mark where they scored with 36 seconds to go in the first half to take that lead, well, after that, it's been nothing but Buffalo. Winky. Incomplete and almost intercepted by Antoine Winfield. Brought on to punt. Fearless Price along with Avion Black. That's going to be Price from the 6.
That's a flip right there.
Chris Hetherington stops him after a return of about 10 yards. First and 10 from the 17. The pitch to Travis Henry. Henry with a 1-yard gain. They said that was something they had to do today. They're taking advantage of it as Henry gets around the corner across the 20 out to the 23-yard line. Buffalo's got to get it to the 27. Van Pelt tipped in the air, incomplete. That was Chris Slade coming, got both hands up and batted the ball down.
Get away.
Brian Moorman with the punt. Could have been near Steve Smith, but out of bounds.
50 at 46.
Quick pass out to Muhammad. 4-yard gain on the play by Musid Muhammad. Antoine Winfield with the stop. Current Bills who have ever played the Super Bowl. Muhammad from the other side. Hit right at the 40-yard line. A short 2-yard pickup on the play. Keith Newman with the tackle.
Yeah.
Carolina has a first down. Winky on the sideline, out of bounds, incomplete. On 2nd and 10. Richard Huntley with the carry, and he's hit. Antoine Winfield and Pearson Prelo. Winky doesn't get there. Nate Clements hit him high, and Jay Foreman wrapped him low. And the Bills defense comes through. Now that Buffalo can run the ball. Travis Henry dropped for a loss. The pitch to Henry. Oh, Carolina defense doing well so far. He gets a 4-yard pickup. Play action. Jay Remersma makes a move. Gets the first down.
They went back to that bootleg, which they had shown on the previous possession.
Van Pelt, they're taking it again. And you take a look at this defense today.